And as always, if I'm suggesting you do a movement that doesn't feel good in your body, or you need to do something at a different pace, then I'm offering it, you listen to your body over me. So we'll start on our backs on the mat here for our low bridge. And if you're using the playlist, you can go ahead and get it started. But bringing those feet onto the floor, your knees will point up to the ceiling. And just close your eyes for a second. Try to actively reach the back of the skull away from the rest of your body so you'll feel that lengthening the back of the neck. And then we'll start to move into our low bridge here. So press into your feet, lengthen the tailbone, and use those glutes to lift the pelvis, maybe 4 to 6 inches off the mat. And we'll hold this here today and do some stuff with our arms. If at any point you reach burnout or just the point, your edge basically, you go ahead and lower the pelvis to the floor. But we'll interlace the fingers in front of us and then punch the hands up to the ceiling and feel the shoulder blades lift off the mat. This is called protraction of the scapula or the shoulder blades. And then if it feels okay, you'll take this shape and reach the hands overhead, almost like they were reaching towards the floor, and you'll let the shoulders move up the back with you. From here, part those hands and pull the elbows into a cactus or a goalpost on the floor, a 90-90 or a 90-degree angle on both sides. And then from here, draw the arms towards each other above you, and then bring the elbows to the floor. Press the elbows and the back of the arms into the floor and just open the palms away from each other on the diagonals. So this is a little external rotation for the shoulders. Release that opening. We'll interlace the fingers once again and make this a bit of a series. So we punch this universal fist up to the sky, let those shoulder blades move, and then reach the arms overhead, maybe towards the floor, but check in with your front ribs. Don't let them flare up to the ceiling. And then pull the hands apart, coming to cactus or goalpost position. Arms move toward each other, keeping the bend in the elbow, and then press the elbow and the back of the arm into the mat by your sides, and we'll open the shoulders into external rotation, moving the hands away from each other. Last time here, of course, if you need to lower the pelvis, do that. Interlace the fingers, we'll reach up, and maybe those arms come overhead. They don't have to if that doesn't feel good. We'll part the arms, coming to goalpost or cactus. And then arms draw towards each other above you, and then plant those elbows back of the arm into the floor and just open the shoulders here. Bring the hands back to neutral. You can lower the palms to the floor, and then we'll slowly lower through the pelvis. I feel that in the glutes. Just give yourself a little shake out. And then gently, keeping some degree of bend in the right knee, you can lift that leg, extending it over the hip. We'll press the left palm flat up to the ceiling and just pull back on the fingers to open up the forearm. And as you do this, we have these interesting cross-body connections. So the back of the right leg, kind of the fibers like cross your back and are related to action that happens in the left rib cage and shoulder. So that's why we're doing opposite arm and leg. And then lower that right foot. We'll switch sides for both. So the left leg extends. You can try flexing the foot, maybe keep a little bend in the knee. Right hand presses up and then pull back on those fingers. Using the left hand to open up the right forearm. Exhaling here. Be gentle with the leg. Remember, you can always bend it. And then lower the foot. Let the hands come back to the floor. We'll come up and around to all fours or quadruped. I'm just going to shut our Zoom room here. So you're bringing those wrists under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. And we'll introduce a little movement series that we'll do in our sequence today. So plant into the left hand, feel strength in the front of the body, and then goalpost the right arm. So that right arm comes to 90 degrees. If you can, this is an option, you can extend the left hip, but keep the left knee bent. So you're just lifting that leg off the floor, but it stays in a bent position. And then lower the left knee and you'll thread the right arm under the left for a bit of a thread the needle here, bending that left elbow. Maybe part of the upper arm comes to the floor, maybe your skull. It really depends on how open your shoulders are, so don't force it. And then press into the left hand, right arm comes to goalposts, and we'll use that left glute to maybe extend the hip, keep that knee bent on the left side. Going to our thread the needle, left knee lowers if you took it, right arm reaches under, left elbow bends. Keep trying to pick up the front of your rib cage and your abdominals away from the floor. So we want to keep our spine neutral. And then last time, right arm to goalpost, left hip extends, keeping the knee bent if you'd like. Remember, you can keep that knee on the floor. And last time, we'll head to our thread the needle position, right arm under the left. Big breath in here. Imagine that breath puffing up into the right upper back. And then exhale, press into the left hand, and the right hand will land under the shoulder. Take a moment to be in neutral. Why don't we do a cat-cow? So inhale, open the chest, almost like a cobra. Exhale for cat, push the floor away, rounding that upper back. And then back to neutral. We'll switch sides. So weight into the right hand, left arm goalpost out to the side. Option to lift that right leg off the floor, keeping the knee bent. And then everyone head to your thread the needle, either lowering the knee first or just reaching that left arm underneath the right, maybe bending that right elbow. Keeping in touch with the front of your body, and then return to your goalpost. Left arm's up, option to lift the right leg, knee staying bent. And then we'll all thread the needle, lowering the knee as you go if you took that. And then check in with the front of the rib cage, almost pull it up towards your spine. And last time, goalpost the left arm, maybe that right leg lifts. And lower that knee, exhale, thread that needle. Left arm reaching towards the right. Big breath in here, puffing up into the left upper back. And then exhale, letting that go. Good, press into the right hand. Let's just shift the hips back here. For a bit of a child's pose, you can stay elevated with the hands planted, nice long spine, or take it towards a recline. Walking the arms forward. Big inhale here. As you exhale, imagine again pulling that front body up towards the back, like you were trying to pull it away from the floor. And then shift the weight forward and we'll come to a bent knee forward fold and get started with our sequence. So bend into those knees deeply when you get to the top. Nice long spine. And we'll rise to vertical, inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips here, bending the knees. Fingertips can come to the floor or your legs. And we'll shift the right leg back, lower that knee under the hip, untuck the toes. Inhale, rise for a half kneel, low lunge position here. We'll let the right arm come down by your side. Left hand comes behind the head and just draw the skull back into that left hand. From here, keeping this shape, tip the left ear towards the left shoulder. Maybe reach that right arm out on a low diagonal. You'll feel this really stretching the side of the neck. You might even feel it into the arm a little bit. And then bring the head back to vertical. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, goalpost, and we'll take a few twists here. So moving through your central axis, really using the spine, not letting the pelvis move, just twisting side to side gently. So we're really here starting to get some motion using our twists into the rib cage. And then pause twisting left, Bring that the left hand behind the head once again. Right hand plants under the shoulder. If that's too much on the left hip, you can always put a block under the hand. I can already sense that my language is going to be weird today. I'm switching left and right. I'm switching body parts, so you can laugh at me, but just bear with me. So you're in this twist, and as you're here, I want you to feel that the left hip crease is deepening, almost like you were trying to move it back in space so that it stays even with the right half of the pelvis. And then we'll move this shape. Weight into the right hand and the shin and slide the left leg back for modified side plank. Option to reach the left arm over the ear towards the front of the mat. Just getting a bit of a side stretch. And then we'll step the left foot forward, left hand reaches up to the ceiling, returning to our twisted low lunge. I like to bring the left hand into that hip crease and actually encourage it to deepen there. So if you like that, you try it. And then once again, we'll slide back, modified side plank. You can keep left foot on the floor. If you want a little extra challenge, you can lift the left leg for its little balance challenge. Everybody step that left foot back to your low lunge, coming back to our twist. One more time, modified side plank. Left leg reaching, left arm reaching, and then return to your twisted low lunge, left foot plants. And we'll actually walk the fingertips around to the left side so they come on the outside of that left foot, but try to keep the right hip from moving. It's gonna wanna fall forward, but we wanna keep it contained. You can even reach the right arm on the diagonal here, and you'll feel that stretch in the low back region. Big inhale. And exhale. Now, big travel here, we'll end up facing the left side of our mat. So walk your fingers back towards your right, tuck the back toes. We'll lift through the middle, turning towards the back, and then keep the right foot where it is, and just turn the toes facing opposite side of the mat, bending right knee, and flexing in the hip. So right now, your legs are crossed, right knee is bent, and that left leg is long. You could have fingertips on the floor. You could be more elevated, but you're getting a nice cross outer hip stretch for this right leg. So we refer to this in LYT as the nutcracker. So I will call it that next time so it's a bit less of a confusing transition. From here, turn to face the back of the mat, coming up onto the left toes and rise for a crescent lunge. Inhale, torso lifts, a little bit of a bend in the left knee. Now we're gonna do that arm series we did in the low bridge here. So interlace the fingers in front of you and then punch it forward, really dome the upper back like you were puffing it back in space. And then inhale, extend, reach those arms up overhead. Exhale to goalpost here. And then you can just pull the elbows down by your sides, kind of keeping a sense of external rotation. They'll be on the diagonals here. Interlace those fingers, punch and dome that upper back. Inhale, extend overhead. Exhale, goalpost. And then drag those elbows down by your sides, taking the forearms kind of mine are on about a 45-degree angle. Let that go, we'll plant the hands, step back for down dog. Other option is to lift the right leg and bend that knee, opening up the hip. Keeping pelvis neutral, but just moving the right femur in the hip joint. We'll lower the right foot if you took that. This is a little balance challenge. You can walk the feet a bit wider in your down dog. Really anchor into the left arm. Feel that front body again, like it was pulling away from the mat. And then maybe reach the right arm towards the outside of the left leg. So you've got a diagonal reach here. Big balance challenge. If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't work, you can just leave it. And then everyone return the right hand. We'll lower the knees. And this is familiar. Weight into the right hand and the left hand and the right shin. I did it again. Right arm comes to goalpost, option to fly the left leg up behind you, and we'll thread the needle. Right arm crossing under left, back to your goalpost with the arm, optional leg lift there. We'll thread the right arm under the left, threading the needle. Option to kick the left leg out towards the side, almost like it was reaching towards the right fingers. Return the leg if you took that. Just one more time here. Goalpost that right arm. Option to lift the leg. And we'll thread the needle. Option to extend the left leg, kind of propping up on the left toes. And then that leg comes back if you took it. We'll all come to quadruped and sit the hips back onto the heels. Ultimately, swing the shins out to your left, and we'll turn to face that side of the mat. Coming to a reverse table, plant the fingers towards the feet, and we'll press into those feet, extending the hips up, really using the glutes here. Big inhale. And exhale, we'll lower, big turn moment. Turn to your right. Step the left foot to the back of the mat, weight into the hands, and then step the right foot towards the front of the mat, coming to side lunges. So we're facing the opposite side of the mat now. Our toes are facing the same direction. So the feet are parallel. And then of course you can lift the torso so it's on an upward diagonal, or you could have fingertips or hands on the floor, bending into one knee and hip and then the other. Nice stretch for the inner thighs here. Taking this in your pace. And then we'll turn to the front of the mat. We're gonna go straight to the other side. So plant into that right foot, left knee lowers, untuck those toes, inhale, arms lift. Left arm reaches down by your side, right hand behind the skull, and move that skull into the palm. Trying to keep that degree of length in the neck. We let the right ear fall towards the right shoulder. Maybe reach the left arm out on the diagonal, just on a low diagonal here. And then everybody return to vertical. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, goalpost those arms. Keeping your solid base, we'll add our twists. Exhaling, twisting to the right. Inhaling, twisting left. And feeling, I always think about as if my waistline was kind of the area of rotation. So nothing below that's going to be moving. Everything else is like the pillar or the foundation. And then stuff above the waistline's moving. One more each way. And we'll pause, twisting to the right here. Right hand comes back behind the skull. We'll plant the left hand under the shoulder for our twist. Remember, if you want to put a block under the hand here, that's a great option if it feels like too much on the right hip. So we'll maybe move the right fingers into the right hip crease, encourage it to deepen. And from here, we'll move to our modified side plank. So you can slide the right leg back towards the back of the mat, maybe reach the right arm over the ear. And we'll step the right foot forward as the right arm lifts up for our twist. You can always, again, bring the fingers to the hip crease, shifting towards modified side plank. Right arm and leg reach. Back to your twist here, right foot steps forward for low lunge shape with the legs. And this time we'll come to modified side plank. Remember, you can always hover that leg, the right leg. And then we step forward. We'll walk the fingers to the outside of the right leg, bringing a twist through our upper body. Use the left glute to hold on to that half of the pelvis. Maybe reach the left arm on the diagonal. Final piece, if you're doing this and not feeling anything, try to pull those front ribs up towards the back. You might get a little bit of extra stretch there. And then here we go, big move to our nutcracker. We walk the hands the opposite direction, turning towards our left, cross the side of the mat, we face the back of the mat, and then turn ourselves to face the opposite direction here. So I always call this the right side of the mat, as if you were facing the front of the mat, this would be on your right. Bending into the left knee, right leg is straight. Of course, you can elevate the torso here. Forearm nutcracker. Just really finding yourself in any position that enables the spine to be long. Turn to the back of the mat, both toes facing that direction. We'll rise for a crescent lunge. Left leg's forward, right knee is a little bit bent and back. Inhale, arms lift. Starting our arm series, interlace the fingers in front of your chest and then punch that fist forward as you dome the upper back. Hold on to your glutes to keep you from falling. Inhale, extend this shape up. And then exhale, goalpost. Draw the elbows towards your side. The forearms are kind of on diagonals here. Interlace those fingers, punch it forward, dome that upper back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, goalpost the arms, and then drag the elbows down, forearms on the diagonal. From here, hands plant, down dog, or take a three-legged down dog, lifting the left leg, bending that knee and opening up the hip. Keeping pelvis neutral. Remember, everybody, you can bend your knees and lift the heels off the floor if you need. And then if you took the foot up, bring the left foot down, and if you'd like to try our diagonal reach, walk the feet wide, anchor into that right palm and feel the shoulder blade on the back, and then maybe reach the left hand towards the outside of the right leg. Really pull that front body up away from the floor. And if you took that twist, we'll plant the hand. Everybody lower the knees for quadruped. Right hand plants, left hand to goalpost. Option, right knee lifts from the floor. Thread the needle, left arm reaching under right. And press into the floor, return. Left arm goalpost, maybe that right leg lifts. Threading the needle here, left arm reaching under the right. Option to reach the right toes out towards the left fingers. And then return the knee if you took that last time. Goalpost. Option to lift the leg. Thread the needle, your version, either reaching the right foot or not. And then press back to a normal quadruped. Left hand plants under the shoulders. Sit the hips back. This time the shins swing out to your right side as you sit onto the left half of the pelvis and turn to face that side of the mat. Fingers plant towards the feet. Press into those feet and lift that pelvis. Glutes are on. We're opening the front of the hips. Opening the chest here from strength in the back. And then we'll lower to the floor. Turn onto your left. Step the right foot to the back of the mat. Plant those hands and step the left foot towards the front. And we side lunge. So our toes are again facing the right side of the mat. I know as we move forward and back, like the right changes, so it gets ambiguous, but really, you can be facing anywhere in the room if you want. Moving side to side here. And then we'll turn, plant the hands, just step that right knee under you and we'll come onto our backs. So take any pathway to get there. Ultimately, reclining onto your back, maybe drawing the knees towards you, almost like you could pull the thighs towards the belly, though it's probably not going to happen. And then you can take some circles with the knees and feel how those circles just give you movement around the back of the pelvis, almost like you're getting a soft massage there, right around the sacrum. And then head in the other direction if you haven't. Ooh. We'll just briefly, if you'd like, you can either head straight to Shavasana here, or I'll cue a little figure 4. Plant that right foot on the floor and we'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Being gentle on the knee here. Keep the right thigh in line with the hip joint and just draw this shape towards your torso. So I like to do that without my hands because it requires more core integration, which kind of maximizes the opening in the outer hips. But if that's too much for you, there's no like moral, problem with grabbing the legs by any means. Sometimes we put such value on really small things, when really all we need to do is just make something work for us, Exhale there. And then lower the right foot. We'll switch sides. Left foot plants. Right ankle crosses the left thigh. And just be gentle on the knee. We're not trying to push it out. Let it fall where it is. And then we'll draw this shape towards our torso, keeping the left thigh in line as much as we can. Even if drawing the left thigh towards you is too much, you can keep the foot on the floor, and that's your figure four. Just taking a little moment of opening here. A lot of what we did implicated the hips, so I hope they feel a little bit more lubricated. And then we'll lower the left foot. Coming to your Shavasana, you can take any shape that allows you to really settle in here and release physical tension. We'll just take a few moments to let this practice kind of sink in. Letting the thoughts go when you notice them. Really giving ourselves the time for our physical practice to open up this moment of kind of mental space and exploration. If you have the time and you'd like to stay here longer today, just mute me on your computer or pause the video, exit the room, and stay as long as you'd like. If you're ready to move on your next inhale, start to expand the breath into the rib cage and the belly. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, this time maybe take the arms wide from the shoulders, like you were making a T shape. Exhale. And then last time, maybe interlace those fingers overhead as you inhale, seeing how this might have opened up over the course of our flow. Exhale, release that. And we'll just slowly, keeping the eyes closed, make your way up to a seat. It really can be any position that's comfortable, but just give yourself a moment to take stock of how you feel. Maybe take stock of if any of the movements in our class today kind of gave you a mental trip up or frustrated you. And just know that at this moment you can let that go, let that frustration or anger at yourself dissipate. Thank you so much for your practice today. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Have a wonderful Monday. All right. I'll stick around for questions as I always do. Otherwise, I'm back Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I hope to see you. And if not, have a great week.